What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Career Mode. This is episode number 108, and we start today's episode by seeing Deportivo are going to match the counter offer we asked for Luis Adriano, so that's good to see as we try and sell on the aging striker. And also some more good news as well, Nabil Fekir, Lyon accepted a straight £10 million bid for their 81 overall 26-year-old striker. As you can see, Adriano does go here to Deportivo, and I'm really happy with that because, for Fekir, I do take the point that his contract's up at the end of the year. He's over the age of 22, 23 and over is when you can offer players for pre-contracts in January. We could sign him for free in January and get him next season, but to me, I was thinking £10 million is not a lot to pay for an 81 overall 26-year-old striker who could get even better than that. So I'm fine paying that, especially as you can see, Luis Adriano did go to Deportivo as well, so part of that fee gets paid for by his departure. So I'm very happy with that deal, and as you can see as well, big came in for Nkulu here, and we are possibly thinking about selling on our centre-back. But also as well, Watford I thought was kind of funny, came in for El Shaarawy. We took their Italian left winger, so they want one that was already here at Milan, El Shaarawy, but of course we say no to that deal. And also Nkulu, another bid for him here. Lorient want to take our centre-back. His contract is up at the end of the year, and he is 29 years old, but 83 overall. I do like the look of him. I'd rather keep him, so unless we get about £25 million, I'm going to say no. But Fekir declined his first contract here at Milan. A bit of a shame. We have to give him a new one. But Fekir, for me, in my eyes, is one of those players who could really transform this Milan side on his own, because 81 overall, 26 years old, I'm sure he'll get even better than that. And for £10 million, I just think it's a bargain. And as you can see, he does accept his second contract, and Nabil Fekir does come in for £10 million. So I will reiterate, we could have signed him for free in January if we wanted to do so and get him in next season. With Luis Adriano going, though, Carlos Bacca is our main striker right now, and I think Fekir is the ideal replacement for him, really. Plus the fact he can play central attacking midfielder and on the wings as well. He's a versatile player. He's got some really good stats. And for £10 million, I just think that's an absolute bargain, even if we could have got him for free in January. So really happy with that signing. Another new player coming in for Milan. And that's the theme right now in Milan. We're selling the aging players. We're getting rid of the aging players, the players that are in their 30s or their late 20s. And we're bringing in younger players to replace them. And Fekir, for me, is a really, really good signing. Also, another free agent maybe coming to Milan. We signed three of them in the last episode. This guy as well may be coming in too. Rescaldini, an Argentine left winger, 65 overall, 18 years old. He'll be nothing better than a squad player, really, but we've spent most of the £56.5 million transfer budget we were given at the start of the window, so I'm trying to sign some really cheap players here, and again, you can't get much cheaper than free agents, so Rescaldini is going to come in. It's only £5,000 a week, and as we're trying to transition to Milan side, we want to sell on the aging squad players, bring in the younger ones really on lower wages too, and this guy meets that criteria right there, so really pleased with that. And we also put in a new bid here for Locadia as well of £4 million, and we shall wait and see what PSV Eindhoven says. We go looking for a new backup striker, but this is Rescaldini though, and he doesn't actually look too bad either. 18-year-old winger, 65 overall, showing great potential. So on a free transfer, just like Portillo, just like Capello, and also Bangadino as well, those four players coming in on free agents, I don't predict many of them will be too successful, but as squad players on low wages, not going to say no to them. But also Watford had sold another one of their players there, Nathaniel Klein's now gone to Arsenal. Interesting to see them having a clear out since they let me go as manager. And also a bid came in here. As I say, we put in a bid here for Mitrovic of Newcastle as well, as we go in search of a possible new backup striker. And also Malik as well of Ajax is another one I was looking at, because Malik has some really nice stats too. And as a backup striker, wouldn't be too bad. But either way, with Milan, as you can see, he's signing Fekir, bringing in Fekir to our side and still looking for new strikers. The fact of the matter is, I mentioned it in the last episode, which you would have seen this morning, Milan's side, taking over this year, it's still not as good as we want it to be. There's still much progression, loads of progression needed, I should say, with Milan. And it's not a team which, we can just start off managing and already believe that we're good enough to win the Champions League, because that's what we want to do at Milan. Whenever I take over a team in career mode, I always think, one day it would be lovely to think we could possibly lift the Champions League with them. I always think about the long-term future. And with Milan, this side, in my opinion, is not good enough yet. And we need to get better squad players and better backup players. So even though we just signed Fekir and we still got Bacca here as well, I still want to buy another backup striker. And these players here, Mane, also There was a Roma striker too, a new gen / regen, and also Malika Mitrovic too, alongside Lacadia. One of those 5 players coming in, I'd like to see in our team, and we'll see how they could do. But also a transfer came in for Zapata here, as you can see, the aging centre-back, 32 years old, 72 overall. The fact of the matter is, we don't need this guy in our team. He's on, I think, 50 grand a week, which is just ridiculous, really, considering how poor he is right now. We don't need him, and again, we're trying to transition the side, so as long as we can get him out of the club, I'm happy. But also, Roma did accept a bid for their young striker. Ajax and Newcastle rejected bids for their players though, but PSV did accept their bid, our bid for their striker of £4 million for Lacadia. And I was thinking to myself, this could be a bit of a bargain because Lacadia is valued at £10 million. He's 25 years old. We don't know what his overall is, but I'm pretty sure he starts off at around 75, 76 overall. So for £4 million, that could be a bit of a bargain for a backup striker right there. So with this Roma player right here, Magnanelli, 21 years old, 73 overall striker, £3 million plus Comi, we put in a bid for him, and Roma said yes, he could be alright, but we're not really too sure how well he will develop. But with Lacadia, he'll probably start off higher than him, and I think he'll be the one we'll be going for if he does accept his contract. And I also decided to offer a contract to El Shaarawy in the team as well. He has his contract up coming the end of the year, and he's one of those players who I think we just have to give a new deal to. 26 years old, 86 overall winger. We could sell him on for a really decent amount of money, but to be honest, he's one of the players who, despite a lot of this team getting a clear out, he's someone who I just can't afford to sell, really. I think he's going to be a really good player for us in the left wing role, with Ryan Tyler on the right. So El Shaarawy gets a new contract, and we shall wait and see what he says. And also look at the squad report here, and then a final look at the team management. We go into our first game of the new season as well with Milan, as we'll be taking on, funnily enough, the side who we possibly could have joined had you guys voted for them. They finished 3rd in the poll, Lazio. So really looking forward to the game. And as you can see, this is the squad report right now, after a ton of transfers have been made and how I've currently got the team lined up. We are going to start off playing a 4-2-3-1 with Ryan Tyler on the right and El Shaarawy on the left. You can see I've given Ryan Tyler the captain's armband. He's back in Italy here. He's back at Milan, his boyhood club, and I think he deserves the captain's armband. So Ryan Tyler will captain the team for this upcoming season. Really looking forward to it. And his first test as Milan captain will be to lead the side out against a club we could have joined, Lazio, here for the opening day of the Serie A season.
Well, you want width and you want quality in the width, and probably they've got that with this new acquisition.
I think so, and the one player that would be pleased to see him arrive is the centre forward, because I think he can expect better service now from a lad that does swing in good crosses.
It's a debut for the new forward today.
Yeah, and with that comes a little bit of pressure, because everyone's expecting you to score the goals. The fans are, I think.
And so for the first game of the new season, travelling to take on Lazio here away at the Stadio Olimpico, a side who we could of course managed had you guys voted for them, instead chose Milan. So taking on Lazio here for the season opener, a big game as well for my first game in charge of Milan. 4 players making their debuts: Capello at left back, who was a free, Siligardi for a £3 million deal, and also Fekir for £10 million, and a big one, Ryan Tyler, our new captain, at £40 million. How are the new boys going to do? Also, how are the existing players going to do, particularly those ones that have only 1 year left in their contract, as they're playing for new deals here at the San Siro. So taking on Lazio here away from home. First chance fell to the home side as well, but it was a great save by Muslera, who kept it at 0-0. But in the 25th minute, we had our first chance of the game here. El Shaarawy takes it round 1, gets himself inside. The shot is well saved by the goalkeeper, but after 2 attempts, Carlos Bacca opens the scoring, and our first chance with Milan results in a goal, and it's Carlos Bacca, the Colombian, who gets it. Lazio 0, Milan 1. El Shaarawy's shot well saved by the goalkeeper. He then made a fantastic second save to deny Bacca, but as the ball fell back to him, he easily puts the ball into the back of the net. And this guy's playing for a contract here in this Milan side. 32 years old, 83 overall, but not guaranteed to be staying past the 12 months he has left in his deal. He's playing for a new contract. He scores the first goal of the season for us, and if he wants a new deal, if he keeps on banging on the goals, I won't say no to giving him one. So Lazio 0, Milan 1. Bacca with the first goal of the season, as we do take the lead in this game. And at half time, as you can see, we were leading by a goal to 0, but it was the only real chance we had in the game, that goal we scored, as it was still 1-0. But in the second half here, had a great chance to make it 2-0. Bonaventura strike going just wide the post though from outside the area, but it was still 1-0. And in the 74th minute here, as De Chilio gets on the ball, we go on the break looking for his second goal. We play the ball inside towards Hashim Mastor. Mastor plays that wide towards Suso here, the Spaniard, has the pace on Mauricio. He stops the ball, takes it past the Brazilian centre-back and goes for goal, but sadly drags it wide of the post and behind for a goal kick. So still Lazio Lazio 0, Milan 1. In the second half here, Lazio trailing by a goal to nil, had done effectively nothing. We had a few good chances on the break here. Another good one is for Kia finds Montalivo off the bench. He goes through to shoot, but once again, the real problem in this game was that my finishing was really poor. Kept on dragging, too many shots wide of the post, and it was still Lazio 0, Milan 1. And later on in the game, Lazio had a great chance to equalise here and deny me an opening day victory as manager of Milan, but fortunately, after a wicked cross into the centre, Pereira wins the header, but can only put the ball over the bar and behind for a goal kick, and it was how the game would finish as well. Final score away at the Stadio Olimpico, Lazio 0, Milan 1, and in my first game as Milan manager on the opening day of the Serie A season, we beat Lazio away from home and claim what could prove to be a really important 3 points come the end of the season against a really decent Lazio side. So it just had to be Lazio the side we would face for our first game of the new season. The side that you guys could have voted for me to manage, but instead you guys chose Milan, and on the basis of that game, I'm glad you did, because we won the game by a goal to nil. It wasn't a pretty performance really, you know, defensively we weren't too solid, and I think Lazio should have at least scored at least one goal, because they did play quite well, but instead we got the win. Really pleased with that, and it is good to see. And also following this as well, you can see another new player is going to come in to join Milan. The final thing you'll see in today's episode, Magnanelli and Lacadia both accepted their contracts, so I decided what one I would want here, either Lacadia or Magnanelli. I decided to go for the 25-year-old striker instead of the younger one. I thought Lacadia would be better suited as a backup striker, thought he'd be better in terms of the overall to begin with, and as you can see, I think I made the right choice. Only £4 million, but he's 77 overall rated. I think he'll be a really decent backup striker. But that is going to end today's episode though, guys, so thank you very much for watching the video. Really hope you have enjoyed it. If you have enjoyed today's episode of Career Mode, then please leave a like, that's of course much appreciated, and it really helps my channel out, and I'll see you for the next episode of Career Mode very soon.